tena, unaendelea kutazama Citizen Debates kutoka kaunti ya Nakuru, ambapo tunawaangazia wagombeaji wa kaunti hiyo katika kiti cha ugavana. Kabla ya kwenda mapumzikoni, tulikuwa tunaangazia masuala ya kilimo, na ilikuwa ni zamu ya Bwana Nicholas Munywa Waiyaki kutueleza mpango wake wa kuinua kilimo katika kaunti ya Nakuru.
Thank you. In my first 100 days, I will ensure that we have water, because rain-fed agriculture is no longer sustainable as we speak. I have done a document based on what was authored on the Greater Nakuru Master Plan. I have talked to organizations. You can see this is being received by JICA, who are willing to come partner with us to ensure that we have water. After we have sufficient...
I wish you had given us a chance to study some of those booklets before.
They are available. They are even
certified.
They are available. You can.
Okay. After the show,
you can just
please
send
proceed.
somebody and.
After the show.
Thank you. After we make, and you will give me an additional second. You on a writer. You've already taken my second. After ensuring that we have adequate supply of water, I will make sure, in collaboration with the institutions that are available, for example, Egerton University and Baraka Institute in Moro, we do researches that are based on the crops that can be done currently in Nakuru. Because what we have been giving our farmers is what used to be done in 1920s. We should have a research-based agriculture, because our climate has changed, the soil has changed, and the breeds of crops that we need to use as seeds are different because of change over time. Number two,
I'll add you another 20 seconds.
Thank you. I'll create cooperatives. Nakuru is one of the counties that does not have so many marketing cooperatives, so that we can have these cooperatives help farmers market their product, their surplus product, within and outside the county, and also even outside Kenya. We've seen, like Mount Narok, they market their products up, and including Tanzania and Uganda.
And your time is up. Thank you so much. Let me allow Elijah Karanja to also give us his thoughts. 3 key issues to think of right now: your plan for agricultural productivity, food security, and farm incomes.
Okay, the question that baffles me so much is when I look at Ukraine, because it has been on the media so much. Ukraine is 60% arable, but it feeds the world. Nakuru is 70% arable, but it cannot even feed Nakuru. I think there's a problem in every area. But when I do research and understand why, you see the capacity even we are producing. If you look at maize, we are producing 20 bags per acre. We can have the capacity of producing the 60 bags per acre. If we increase the production alone, we will make sure we are not only feeding the country, but we are also exporting. But what I'll do is I want to create what we call an agriculture beltway. Bring all the counties of Trans Nzoia, Bomet, even pull Kiambu. We're going to bring Zengishu, about 10 counties which border Nakuru, and extend a little bit. And then we will build a fertilizer factory. Everybody have heard the cost of production of maize is so high because of fertilizers. So if we can bring a fertilizer factory here, we will reduce the cost from 6,000 right now to almost 900 shillings. Because the cost of producing 1 bag of maize is at 1,350, and it's pressing our farmers. So they assume, as a matter of fact, like Stano was saying, that is why they are choosing to divide their lands and sell them to plots, because they have to pay school fees, they have to pay bills, because that's the option. So we have to make sure for them agriculture is paying. That is what I will do. Then I'm planning to introduce what is called virtual city. Nakuru will be the first virtual city with the internet connectivity, whereby... Okay.
In last 10 seconds, it will be finish your sentence.
It will be the first city where we can do remote farming.
Okay.
Okay.
And we'll come back in your closing statement to get a bit more about that. Okay. But let me allow Governor to respond. And for those from your county, Governor, who ask plans for cold stores for potato farmers, a functional cereals board for maize farmers as well, they'd like to know how far you are with that, when they can expect to see that to boost agriculture in your county.
Okay. Thank you. But just allow me to comment. Our good senator had said that some of our medical doctors died because of lack of PPEs who don't benefit from the names of those who died as a result of that. And then moving on to agriculture, I want to quickly say that high-value agriculture is a way to go. The days of maize and beans, because of the nature of the economy, is coming down. And therefore, Nakuru, we have taken it upon ourselves to encourage crops that bring more money to the pocket. Then when you have money, you can go and buy your maize. Therefore, we have a big program on pyrethrum. And as you drive down Kinongi, in areas like Keringet and many of those other places, you will see white patches of pyrethrum. And I'm happy to note, I think 3 months ago, Johnson City, the biggest buyer of this particular crop, was here, and the president gave them audience on how we can have direct marketing with that US company. With tea and coffee, we have given our farmers seedlings so that they can expand their production. And just recently, I was in Bahati, where we are also supporting one of the cooperatives so that they can process their coffee and get value out of it. We've given over 100 million worth of avocado seedlings across the entire Nakuru. And as we go towards Kihingo, parts of Naivasha and Gilgil, Nakuru very soon will be one of the biggest producers of avocado. And macadamia and many others I do not want to mention here. Working with the key institutions in agriculture like Egerton and Calro, we already have an existing MOU on technical support so that our farmers can benefit from the knowledge from these professors, so that you don't have an institution here and the professors and the people next door are doing, medieval kind of agriculture.
Okay,
so briefly. We already have that. And then lastly also, it's good to note that Kenya is one of the biggest producers of cut flowers, the roses. These roses come from Naivasha and Nakuru. So we are into the big commercial farming, and we're not just in Kenya, we're thinking of being global players that have a repute.
Governor, you've got.
Naomba tu utufafanulie zaidi, manake kuna baadhi ya wakulima ambao tumezungumza nao ambao wanahisi kwamba haswa wakulima wa viazi, kwamba kuna swala la kupakia viazi katika magunia ya kilo 50 na wanahisi kwamba wanapaswa kuwa na uhuru wa kupakia viazi jinsi wanavyotaka. Swala la pili ni kuhusiana na soko, ukosefu wa mikopo na swala la wadudu. Kama gavana ulioko sasa, umefanya nini kutatua masuala haya?
Asante. Napojibu haya ni, as good I mentioned, my friend talked about Ukraine. The difference between Ukraine and Kenya is that politicians think about solutions for their people the day they're elected into office. They don't politic from year 1 to year 5. That's the difference. Secondly, on storage, you have one in Kiringet and another one we are putting up in Mauche. These are complete, but we would also want to work with cooperatives so that we can give them grants so they can have storage facility ya viazi so that they don't sell when there's glut. But also the 50 kg, mbeleni ulikuwa naeka 200, 300, and if you have gone to some of our Marikiti and other places, hiyo gunia moja ilikuwa kibebwa na mtu moja. After 3-4 years, those people have orthopedic issues. And most of our young people, after doing that job for a few years, they become wrecks. So it's also a medical advice that what can one person carry? 50 kg. Alafu, hatuwezi tukakubali, maziwa iko na kipimo, all the others have kipimo, but our potatoes have no kipimo. There is no crop, whether it is coffee or tea, that is sold without kipimo. So this is one of the ways to emancipate the farmer, so that they can say, I did 1 ton or 2 tons, and this is how I benefit. Lastly, with respect to the market, this is a long conversation because we're thinking of local and international, and I'm happy to note some of my farmers in places like Mao Narok are the biggest producers of carrots that we sell directly to Kampala. We're trying to establish market in countries like Djibouti, and we'll be working with cooperatives so that they can have a direct access, including DRC. And I think this is really the link that we want to encourage.
I'll cut you off there because of time. Senator Kihika, in the interest of time, this may actually be your final comment. I want to give you a chance to respond to the challenge the governor has posed your way, but now, of course, I don't want you to mention names of the deceased on air. It will be purely traumatizing for the family, even as you give us your final call to Nakuru residents on why they should vote for you as the next governor.
All right, thank you. First, on responding to the governor, what I said was he's standing there and saying that he diverted money for PPEs to instead build a hospital was irresponsible, because that meant that he took the lives of the healthcare workers at a time of corona crisis. That is why the PPEs were being given. That was very reckless, because then that endangered the lives of healthcare workers. I will not mention names because it is not fair to their families right now, but if the governor was being honest, even his top executive members, he lost some to corona. But I will not mention names.
But is it because of lack of PPEs?
I will not.
You have to be honest.
No, but it stems from that. When you sit there and talk about I diverted that because people would rather see a hospital than PPEs, at the time there was need for Nakuru County healthcare workers to have PPEs like all the healthcare workers the world over had, to be able to protect themselves as they helped the citizens of Nakuru during a very serious and deadly crisis.
And your last minute, what's your last message to residents of Nakuru?
Thank you, Wahiga. The time seems to have really flown before we could really talk about some very substantive issues. But for all the residents of Nakuru County who have been watching, thank you very much. I'm also at this time very humbly requesting that you vote for me as the next governor of Nakuru County. My experience, my passion for Nakuru County is a lot. And I want to make sure that the people of Nakuru have good, clean drinking water, that the farmers are helped, subsidy to the farm inputs, helping them get markets for their products, that the infrastructure is done so that there is feeder roads and access roads opened up in the agricultural areas, that the healthcare facilities have drugs in them, have also doctors and nurses, that our children at the ECDs have facilities that are great, that the county government employs teachers at the ECDs. But in addition to that, I also want to have a feeding program for those children at the ECDs. In addition to that, there's so many things that I want to do for Nakuru County, and given a chance, I will be able to deliver and transform Nakuru and make it better for everyone.
And your time is up.
Thank you.
Naam, asante sana Bi Kihika. Hebu sasa tumpatie nafasi Daktari Stanley Karanja kwa dakika moja unusu, tuambie kwa nini wapiga kura leo hii wanapokusikiza wakuone wewe uko bora zaidi kuliko wagombeaji wengine?
Asante sana Dr. Stanley Chege Karanja, SK independent candidate. SK ndio alama yangu, niko independent candidate. Nasikitika sana watu wa Nakuru, nikienda nyumbani Nakuru nakuta hawana pesa kwa mfuko, na hizo pesa zinatumika sana na cronies za administration ya sasa. It is very painful to have.
Those are very strong allegations to make. You've reported those.
Thank you. I can, if you want me to go further, I can, but okay.
Kwa sababu uko na sekunde 40, labda unaweza kuhakikisha kwamba unazungumzia lile jambo ambalo utalipa kipaumbele.
Simamisha. Haya, tuanze. Haya,
proceed please.
Haya, thank you. There's a big problem. First government we had devolved to counties, to various county ministries. But the current administration has brought everything centralized. So the tenders are only being given to the rich people. The Nakuru people, I will make sure, hata kijijini, kama barabara inajengwa kwenu, kama kuna kazi yote itakayofanyika, I want the people of Nakuru to enjoy the benefit of devolution. Mimi ndio nitasimama hapa na watu wa Nakuru na nitawahusisha public participation. Article 10 of our constitution, I will implement it. Nitakaa nao chini, tunywe chai, tusemezane, tusikizane. It is their right. Article 1 of the Constitution of Kenya, they have the sovereign power.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Nicholas Munywa Wayaki, let me also give you an opportunity. We've heard from each of the candidates, but what's your final call, your final message to the residents of Nakuru?
My final call is that if there is somebody not to vote for, is Lee and Susan. Reason being, Susan has failed to oversight the systematic failures that have been there in Nakuru County. Lee has caused the systematic failures that are already existing in Nakuru County. The person to vote is person who is showing the running mate, Peupe, please, Nicholas Munywa Wayaki with Dr.
I will not allow you
Kenga.
to put up your campaign material, otherwise the others would want the same opportunity.
Yes.
Is there any last word beyond that?
Bado dakika moja.
Bado dakika moja.
Yes.
Dakika moja yangu, I will humbly say this. Nakuru will be there after Munywa, after Lee, after Kenyanjui, after Stanu. Let us be responsible when voting. And this is a chance that you've been given as a Nakuru resident to make a destiny with your greater county. So don't look at those who are giving you big chunks of money. Look at those who have the interest of Nakuru at heart. Nicholas Munywa Wayaki is that person.
Asante Nicholas Munywa Wayaki. Elijah, umekuwa nje kwa miaka mingi sasa, umerejea. Hebu tuambie lile jambo la mwisho ambao utawapatia wakazi wa Nakuru ili waweze kukupatia wewe fursa ya kuwaongoza ifikapo Agosti 9.
Okay, my ideas dwell so much on job creation for the youth. That is where I stand for. That is where, like I was saying, my idea of in the area of agriculture, I'll introduce what you call me remote farming. Remote farming means a consumer in Europe or in America can actually farm in Nakuru and get his product shipped there, and we remove all the bottlenecks of brokers and everything. So if an avocado, like the governor is saying, it costs 200 shillings in America, but here they buy for 6 shillings. You can negotiate 400 shillings for that. That will empower the youth. I'm also going to create 300 jobs in every ward within our county. That will be about 80,000 jobs in 5 years. But those are not jobs. That is a youth empowerment program, whereby we will pick 300 young men and women. We use them in the agriculture infrastructure, whereby they can build agriculture infrastructure where we need them. And then we will pay them 5,000, and 5,000 we put them in SACCO. For 9 months they work, and then 3 months they go to tertiary colleges, where they will be trained in technical courses like plumbing, like just tertiary courses. And then when they graduate, we'll give them 60,000 and a certificate. Every year we'll be able to roll 300 in every ward, because I believe my philosophy is to go to the grassroots and empower the youth. I also harness internet because I believe there's so much jobs in the digital world. I went to KU. We had a professor who was called George Shiwani. He was a visionary.
Okay.
Muda wako umekwisha.
We'll have to leave it there. Governor, you have the last word on this, and it's only fair that I ask you this. You've been in office for the last 5 years. How do you rate your ability to deliver services to the people of Nakuru on a scale of 1 to 10? And what further promise can you now give them moving forward should they re-elect you?
Thank you. So first, I want to confirm for those who are not around when COVID hit Nakuru, and I must say that even for our leaders who were elected, when things got so bad, there was nobody around. It was just me and my staff, and I want to pay big tribute to all of them who risked their life to ensure that the people of Nakuru were safe. And I think it is not right to trivialize such issues. But with respect to health, we also have a cancer care. Our patients who used to come to Nairobi or go to Eldoret can now go to Nakuru for comprehensive cancer care. And this is one of the biggest burden we have in our communities. And therefore, the other issue I would also want to mention with respect to peaceful coexistence, Nakuru in the past has been subject to some of these challenges that we have. And I am happy that although we may differ politically, we agree that Nakuru must be safe, both during election and even after. And I really want to plead with my colleagues not to put their interests before that of the county and also the country at large. Then I also want to confirm that I have a very good working relationship with all government agencies, non-governmental and even foreign, because my business is to look for solutions for Nakuru. And whether it is the Minister for Interior, the Minister for Finance, this government and in the coming government, I will work with them. I will not call them names. I will not be harsh on them, because I know if I do that, my people will suffer. So a good working relationship with all these agencies ensures that Nakuru gets the best.
What's your rating? What will you rate yourself? Your
we're coming there.
You don't have much time.
Then the other thing is my responsibility also is to defend Nakuru.
Okay.
And there's an issue of SGR and part of our industrial park being shifted to another place. I want to say this will not happen as long as I'm in office.
Okay.
And
whichever
government that comes will never allow that. And just also to mention for the future.
Nadhani muda wako umekwisha. Lili ambalo Waihiga alikuwa anataka kujua ni kati ya 1 hadi 10 unajipatia ngapi?
I would give myself 70, appreciating that we lost 2 years to COVID, and also to request in future, you've seen the questions from the public are very different from the way we want to answer them. The public is very specific on the issues that affect them.
Nadhani kuna wale ambao wangependa sana tuendelee. Kuna Banis Mbuki anasema Nakuru is not supporting agriculture extension officers. Why don't we have support like soil testing, subsidized farm inputs, weather analysis versus crop prioritization? Jumbe ziko nyingi, sijui kama wewe uko na moja Wahiga ambao unataka kusoma.
Somebody wants to know about the promise that was given for street CCTV cameras to deal with the issue of insecurity. Can more light be shed on that as well? And another one here on the drainage issue in Naivasha, which keeps on getting blocked and repaired after a few months. Unfortunately, I don't think
La mwisho, Chalo Ward
one.
Rossi anasema some of the things are better said than done. Not all the health workers can be employed permanently and pensionable. Kufikia hapo hatuna la ziada. Asante sana kwa kutazama Citizen Debate. Hadi wiki ijayo, naitwa Mashirima Kapombe na kutakia usiku mwema.
Nami naitwa Wahiga Mwaura. I want to thank our guests very quickly. Governor Lee Kinyanjui, thank you so much for your time today. Elijah Shege Karanja, an independent candidate, asante sana. Nicholas Munyo Wayaki, an independent candidate as well, thank you very much. Dr. Stanley Karanja, also an independent candidate, asante sana. And the current Senator Susan Kihika. Thank you for your time, and thank you to our audience as well. Mnaweza jipigia makofi pia sasa. And we now wait the 9th of August to you, voters in Nakuru County. Over to you. Your candidates have spoken. This has been Citizen Debate. Thank you for tuning in. We now cross over to our other studio for our 9 p.m. news. Asante sana.